A mysterious impact crater was found in the Sahara Desert, and scientists are linking it to a gemstone found in the tomb of the Egyptian king Tutankhamun. An international team of researchers analyzed satellite images of the vast and sandy terrain between two remote Egyptian villages in the desert. What they found was El Bar Crater, a massive hole about 1,000 feet across. It looks exactly like the impact crater made by a meteor. Scientists also found traces of chemicals that confirmed there had been a high-energy impact event at the site. Back when British archaeologist Howard Carter entered the young king's tomb in 1922, he discovered a breastplate encrusted with precious jewels and one extremely rare gemstone. It turned out that this rare gemstone was made of Libyan desert glass, a substance made almost entirely of silicon dioxide. It's one of the rarest minerals on the entire planet, and is found only in the most desolate areas of the Sahara Desert. The rare gem may have been created when a meteorite exploded over the Sahara Desert and caused a unique chemical reaction. This would mean that the Egyptian king was walking around with a gemstone in his breastplate brought to him from outer space. Number 9. Giant sea creatures. New archaeological research has revealed that some of the largest and scariest sea creatures ever to populate the planet once thrived in what is today the Sahara Desert. Scientists have been examining fossil records for decades to try and figure out what kinds of animals lived in the ancient Trans-Saharan Seaway from between 100 million and 50 million years ago. Researchers now know that the water here was warm and relatively shallow, and also that it was apparently home to sea snakes that were over 40 feet in length and other horrifying monsters. Fossil records have revealed catfish over double the size of their modern cousins, as well as crocodilians with huge snouts, and fish that were so strong that they could crush mollusks. Number 8. The P-40 Kitty Hawk. In 1942, Flight Sergeant Dennis Copping crashed his P-40 Kitty Hawk fighter plane into a remote part of the Sahara Desert. It was June 28th when the sergeant was flying his damaged fighter craft between two British airfields located in Egypt, but on his way, he experienced some kind of catastrophic failure and crashed. The fate of the pilot remained a mystery for 70 years until the lost and forgotten fighter plane was finally discovered in the middle of some sand dunes. Because the craft was in such an isolated spot, nobody had touched it since its messy landing. The mystery remains as to what happened to the pilot. According to news reports, there was absolutely no sign of him. There had been a crude shelter made outside of the plane involving a parachute, but it appeared that the pilot must have run out of supplies and tried to walk to safety. As you can imagine, there is no way he was going to make it that far. Number 7. The Whale Graveyard. Buried beneath the Sahara Desert are thousands of whale bones. These whales date back 50 million years, when the Earth looked completely different. The highest concentration of whale bones has been found in a place called Wadi al-Hitan, or the Valley of the Whales in English. The bones found here belong to ancestors of modern whales, with the first ones being discovered way back in 1902. These fascinating beasts roamed the ocean that once covered all of the Sahara Desert. This was known as the Tethys Sea, and it filled the space between Africa and Asia before the Himalayas had even been born. The Valley of the Whales provides a complete glimpse into the past, with the bones of extinct ancient whales spanning many millions of years. Number 6. An ancient megalake. The Sahara Desert may be a barren wasteland today, but new geological evidence has revealed that there was once a giant lake in the eastern Sahara 250,000 years ago. This happened when the Nile River flowed through a channel and completely flooded an area of over 42,000 square miles. Evidence of this ancient megalake was spotted by Ted Maxwell from the National Air and Space Museum while studying radar data of the Egyptian Sahara. As a professional geologist, Maxwell was able to understand the patterns of wind-blown sediments and changes in the bedrock. By piecing all these different clues together, Maxwell realized that buried beneath the shifting sands is evidence of a huge body of water, and there may even still be buried channels 50 feet beneath the surface of the desert. Number 5. Ancient rivers. 3 ancient rivers once linked sub-Saharan Africa to the Mediterranean Sea. This was about 130,000 years ago, when 3 enormous rivers flowed across much of North Africa, providing a safe route of travel for ancient humans through what is today a merciless desert. The rivers were discovered after scientists simulated ancient rainfall patterns using newly advanced computer climate models. They were able to recreate what the desert looked like over 100,000 years ago, and this led them to the discovery of the rivers. But what's really cool is that the rivers are still there today, just buried under dozens of feet of sand. Number 4. A lost civilization. A pair of researchers have found traces of a lost civilization in the Sahara Desert. The lost culture of the Sahara is known as the Garamantes, and archaeologist David Mattingly believes that they started to build a network of cities and fortifications around the few remaining oases in the Libyan part of the Sahara Desert, sometime around 1000 BC, or about 3,000 years ago. This civilization likely reached its peak at the beginning of the Common Era and then began to decline after 700 AD. Mattingly claims that they probably declined after running out of water. Mattingly and his team have been able to locate at least 158 major settlements and even the remnants of irrigation systems. Unfortunately, there are still no archaeologists working on excavating these sites in the field, but at least we know they are hiding in the desert, just waiting for the right time. Number 3. The legendary Spinosaurus. By far the coolest and most amazing dinosaur fossil ever found hidden in the Sahara Desert was that of the Spinosaurus. Paleontologists working in the Moroccan part of the Sahara unearthed one of the biggest and most intact Spinosaurus fossils ever, the Spinosaurus aegyptiacus. This legendary monster was the first known aquatic dino. It was a 50-foot-long predator with a massive sail on its back, huge teeth for ripping apart prey, and stubby little arms like a T-Rex. The Spinosaurus hunted in the ancient river systems about 100 million years ago. The amazing fossil was discovered buried under 15 tons of rock. Number 2. Nabta Playa. Nabta Playa is believed to be the first astronomical site on planet Earth. It was constructed in the Sahara Desert about 7,000 years ago, making it far older than Stonehenge. The huge stone circle was used by a surprisingly advanced culture to track the summer solstice and the annual monsoon season. This was the earliest calendar, the first use of astronomy by a civilization, and perhaps even the starting point for what would eventually sweep around the globe and cause ancient societies everywhere to begin building their own stone monoliths to track the sun and stars. Nabta Playa is located roughly 700 miles from the Great Pyramid of Giza. Number 1. Stone Age Graveyard. The largest Stone Age graveyard ever found in the vast nothingness of the Sahara Desert is providing an incredible record of life from a time when the region was a green paradise. This graveyard has just been discovered in the country of Niger by Paul Sereno from National Geographic. His team went on an expedition to find dinosaur bones and instead found a Stone Age archaeological site dating back 10,000 years. The site has been dubbed Gobero, and it is bursting with skeletons of both humans and animals. It's located inside the Tenere Desert, known as a desert within a desert for its extreme remoteness. The graveyard has so far revealed 2 human populations living one after the other within a space of about